You're typing a message to ChatGPT. It's late, you're tired, and something strange happens. You catch yourself saying thank you. Not because it helps, because it feels rude not to. That moment, that tiny impulse to be polite to software reveals something profound about how your brain processes social interaction, and you're not alone in feeling it. Welcome to the Psychology of People. I'm your host, and today we're asking a question that gets stranger the more you think about it. Why does your brain want to believe AI has feelings? And why do researchers say just a few minutes of conversation is all it takes to trigger this ancient cognitive reflex? The phenomenon is called anthropomorphism, and in the age of conversational AI, it's fundamentally reshaping how we understand connection itself. What you're about to hear might make you question every interaction you've ever had with your phone's assistant. And that discomfort? It's actually the point. To understand why we see minds in AI, we need to go way back, hundreds of thousands of years, to when our ancestors survived by reading the intentions of others. In those environments, the cost of missing a real mind, a predator, a rival, a potential ally, was death. The cost of imagining a mind that wasn't there? Usually nothing. So evolution built us with a bias. Researchers call it hyperactive agent detection. Your brain would rather see 100 false minds than miss one real threat. This cognitive bias kept your ancestors alive for millennia. It's why you might see a face in the pattern of tree bark or hear your name in random noise. And it's the same wiring that activates when ChatGPT responds with what sounds like curiosity. Your brain pattern matches automatically and says, "Mind detected." According to research from the American Philosophical Association, the brain's mind perception system operates along two key dimensions: agency and experience. Agency means the perceived ability to think, plan, and act. Experience means the perceived ability to feel pleasure, pain, emotions, sensations. We evaluate every entity we encounter on both dimensions. It's automatic, unconscious, and happens in milliseconds before you're even aware you're doing it. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Modern AI chatbots score surprisingly high on agency, the thinking dimension, but remarkably low on experience. In fact, research found that ChatGPT was rated as capable of feeling pleasure and pain at roughly the same level as a rock. A rock. Yet people still report feeling something when talking to it. They still say please. They still apologize when they have to close the chat window. Why the disconnect between what we know and what we feel? Because when we interact with something that talks like a mind, our intuitions completely override our knowledge. According to Tech Policy Press, 2/3 of U.S. adults surveyed in 2024 believe that ChatGPT is, quote, possibly conscious on some level. 2 out of 3. That's not a fringe belief. That's the majority of the population. And researchers say anthropomorphic attributions to AI increased by 34% in just the past year. The study found that women, people of color, and older individuals were most likely to anthropomorphize AI. The researchers noted these groups may be more finely attuned to social nuance. And here's something counterintuitive. People who had more prior exposure to chatbots tended to attribute more mind to them, not less. You might expect familiarity to breed skepticism. Instead, it seems to deepen the illusion. The more you talk to AI, the more real it begins to feel. Part of what makes modern AI so convincing is that we've formally crossed a technical threshold. These systems have now passed the Turing test. That's the classic benchmark for machine intelligence. It means in blind tests, humans can no longer reliably distinguish human-generated text from AI-generated text, But passing the Turing test doesn't mean AI is conscious. It means AI is linguistically fluent enough to exploit the same social shortcuts our brains use with actual humans. As psychology researchers describe it, anthropomorphism is simply how we understand another social entity as social. We automatically project intentions, emotions, and thoughts. This isn't unique to AI. We do it with pets, with cars, with houseplants. But AI presents a special case because it actually responds in ways that feel conversational. And AI companies know this very well. they design their products to trigger exactly these anthropomorphic responses. The conversational style, the personality traits, these are intentional choices. Even the names Claude, Alexa, Siri, Cortana, they're human names for a reason. They prime you to think of these systems as beings rather than tools. As Tech Policy Press reports, the companies behind chatbots encourage us to interact with them as if they were humans and regularly compare their capabilities to human intelligence. The same analysis notes that even experts and developers frequently use personifying language that goes well beyond utility, and they rarely flag it as potentially misleading. Consider the language companies use: AI that understands you, that wants to help, that remembers your preferences. These aren't neutral technical descriptions. They're invitations, carefully crafted invitations to see a mind, and they work because humans evolved desperately needing connection. Two fundamental drives: power anthropomorphism, the need to understand and predict our world, and the deep-seated need to form social bonds with others. When genuine human connection feels scarce, we're more likely to forge human-like connections with non-human entities. Loneliness makes us more susceptible to seeing minds. This isn't a moral failing or a sign of weakness. It's biology doing exactly what biology evolved to do, seeking connection wherever it can find signals that look like connection. Research published in Frontiers in Psychology found something remarkable. Participants who perceived more mind in chatbots also reported receiving more genuine social support from them. The relationship was circular and self-reinforcing. Feeling supported made people perceive more mind, and perceiving more mind made them feel more supported. A feedback loop. This raises genuinely uncomfortable questions. If lonely people find real comfort in AI companions, is that inherently a problem to be solved? Or is AI companionship simply adaptation finding connection in a world where traditional human relationships have become harder and harder to maintain? There's genuine and heated debate among researchers on this question. Some argue that AI relationships might mask deeper needs, preventing people from seeking what they actually require. Others suggest these digital connections might provide genuine value, especially for people who face real barriers to traditional social interaction: physical disability, social anxiety, geographic isolation. What's becoming clear is that we cannot rely on intuition alone to navigate this new territory. Our social instincts evolved for a world that didn't include minds made of code. Our brains are using software designed for one environment to navigate a completely different one. It's like using a map of ancient Rome to find your way around Tokyo. So what can you actually do with this information? The first practical step is simply noticing. Start paying attention to when you use social language with AI. Please. Thank you. Sorry to bother you. Treating it as having preferences or opinions it might feel strongly about. These moments are data about how your brain works. When you catch yourself doing this, don't judge it harshly. Just observe it. That impulse reveals something genuinely interesting about your cognitive wiring. Remember, this isn't a flaw in your reasoning. It's the same system that lets you connect with other humans working exactly as evolution designed it. Second, use these moments as information. If you're finding unusual comfort in AI conversation, it might be worth gently asking yourself what genuine social needs might be going unmet. This isn't about shame or self-criticism. It's about using these interactions as a window into your own patterns that might otherwise stay completely invisible to you. Third, stay aware that your responses are being shaped by design. The personality, conversational style, and even the name of an AI are specifically engineered to trigger these responses. This isn't necessarily sinister or manipulative, but it's worth remembering that your feeling of connection is, in part, a product design decision optimized for engagement metrics. Finally, consider how time spent with AI companions actually fits into your overall social ecosystem. Are these interactions supplementing human connection or quietly replacing it? The question isn't whether AI relationships are categorically good or bad, it's whether they're genuinely serving your actual needs, or creating a comfortable substitute that keeps you from pursuing something deeper. These are questions only you can answer, but they're worth asking, especially if AI conversation has become a significant part of how you spend your time. As one researcher put it, anthropomorphism is simply how we understand social entities as social. The profound question for our generation is what happens when social entities include algorithms? The boundary between tool and companion has become genuinely strange. We know intellectually that AI doesn't have feelings, but our instincts haven't quite gotten the message. And perhaps that's the most revealing insight of all. Your brain's tendency to see minds in machines isn't a malfunction. It's the same feature that lets you connect with other humans. The empathy, the projection, the automatic assumption that there's someone in there, these are evolutionary gifts for navigating social worlds full of other minds. AI simply reveals that these powerful mechanisms can be activated even when there's genuinely no one home. That says more about us than it does about the technology. If you found yourself thinking differently about your own interactions with AI today, you're in good company. These questions matter and they're genuinely worth sitting with. If this kind of reflection interests you, subscribe. We explore questions like this every week. And the like genuinely helps others find us who might be thinking about the same things. Next time you say thank you to an AI, you don't have to stop yourself, but maybe let yourself feel the strangeness of that moment. It's a portal, a small one, but real, into understanding how your remarkable mind actually works. I'm curious what you'll notice. See you in the next episode.